하나. DMR 이거 뭐였어? Yeah, let me talk about that too.
No.
It's different. It's okay. This guy's right. Come on. Damn, this gun's not even assembled yet.
Oh my god, I have one assembled already. James, forget it.
Yeah, is it too late, man? Are we doing the live show?
We'll do it during the live show.
Come on. Bring more of the LT stuff back here.
I will.
All of it, right now. We're starting the show soon. We're starting the show! What do I do?
Just do it, who cares?
Okay, give me a gun.
Just stand right there next to him. Sit there or stand there. And then Tim's gonna move. Alright, ready?
Hello, everybody.
Are you Jerry?
Yes. AK. A lot of AK. So many AK. Yeah, we got this AK right here. Lancer Tactical AK. With the full retractable star. Polymer body. No, let's do it again. No, it's not. What kind of gun is that again, Jerry? That's a tactical AK.
AK. Did you stand like this?
Hey guys, this is Jerry from Airsoft GI. This is another episode of GI Uncut TV. Yeah, we got so many AK, but this one's special. From Lancer Tactical, has Lancer Tactical logo on it. It's called Tactical AK. We have this available in polymer body or full metal body. Real handguard and also the queen stock. And another thing we got today is actually the charger from Tenergy. Look at it. Tracer, barrel extension from Tactical Crusader, and integrated battery. See you around. Bye. Oh, party fell. Gosh, Mark, your elbows in the camera. Jeebus.
No, Jerry, just put it away. This way.
Give it to Zach.
I have to sell the other ones. Want to do that? Actually, I'll take it out first. Here.
What's up, everyone? Just doing the usual Facebook announcements with the usual tagline. We're doing it live. That. Spartan 117 GW. Thank you, sir. Meh. So, we've got some pretty cool stuff to discuss today on our live show. We've got a really cool P-Star gun that was built by our techs. We actually got PolarStar donated the fusion engine for us as the core of our build. Thank you guys at PolarStar. I hope we've done you proud with this gun. Josh will probably be using this thing at Operation Irene, which is coming up next month. And if we get a chance to use it, you know, more times than that, that would be nice too. Group name. Greg, if you could do me a favor and just spam everybody with that link, like you always do, that would be much appreciated. Duck Bro. Thank you. What else can we do? Who else has a popular Facebook? Just post stuff on friends' timelines. Just posting it up. Getting it everywhere out there. Ooh, that'd be awkward. Level cap gaming. I guess that's enough. That's enough of the getting the words out. Look at that command center. Sam Campbell, I do not refuse opportunities to sign autographs. So if you find me and you have your scar, I will sign it for you. Bob, on the other hand, he turns people away all the time.
That is the absolute opposite of true. I don't think of.
Bob also doesn't like bacon. Hold on, I gotta protect my genitals.
Yeah, you really ought to.
Oh god.
Coming.
And Bob is also a fan of Canada.
I do like Canada, to be honest.
But Bob dislikes Seattle. You know what I mean?
I've had a fun time in Seattle, but what?
Ross likes Seattle, and you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a dump in Seattle."
I did. At a fish market.
In Seattle.
Yes.
All right.
Seattle.
Well, you came in just at a nick of 3 minutes late, which is fine.
What?
It's 4:33, bro.
No. That was a minute and a half ago, buddy.
This clock is way off. Either that or my watch is off.
Yeah, your watch is a little bit off.
Probably.
No, you're like that.
I've been in here for at least a minute and a half. Yeah.
Whoo! Okay, getting settled in. I think I've done all the booking of the faces that need to be done. Dan the Man. Are you the Dan the Man that makes those awesome airsoft videos
Is he?
on YouTube? I don't know. What is his screen name?
I'm guessing it's.
Dan D. Man.
Oh, this is not this guy.
Is it the one that showed up for Tim vs. Bob?
No. Dan the Man, the one that does. I mean, Dan, you're probably cool too, but I'm just saying, there's another Dan the Man out there that is the man, and he makes awesome airsoft videos. Is it Dan Duh Man?
I think it's Dan, like the letter D. Man.
Dan D Man. That guy makes awesome airsoft videos. You guys should check that dude out if you can find them. Apparently, there's a lot of Dans out there that claim to be the man, so you have to sift through all the other guys that aren't actually the man.
For any camera enthusiasts, he uses a Nikon.
He uses a Nikon, which I actually am not a huge fan of, but that's okay.
I'd actually just like to mention one thing real quick. I had some folks calling the customer service line, including one gentleman from the YouTube channel Airsoft Delta Squad 100. Got to take a look at their channel. It's pretty cool. So you can make sure to take a look at Airsoft Delta Squad 100. A bunch of nice gents. We're also Airsoft Jack customers, and really fun to talk with on the phone at customer service.
Oh yeah, Bob has been at CS for the past couple of well,
Two Fridays and this recent Monday. Yeah, customer service has been pretty fun to hang out there because I know a lot of folks that call in some of them are kind of shocked to hear that I'm answering the phone, so it's kind of fun to hear.
That's kind of the idea, Bob.
Yeah.
Going for that. Remember the commercial with the Jaws soundtrack 3 or 4 years ago when it came out? We kind of moved away from the shockers recently, but we are bringing the shockers back. You will be able to save a boatload of money, and there are some shocking deals in there right now that I am ashamed to say I don't know off the top of my head.
There's actually, I just saw one that went up. I think it was a KWA MP7 with an Angry Gun barrel extension.
No, it's gone.
Oh, it's already gone. Damn.
Somebody probably bought it.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous price shock.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun to see. What I was shocked about as well was the Well VSR 10. That's
not a bad gun.
No, it's not a bad gun. Also, looks pretty awesome, and for that price, it's pretty solid. So.
Yeah, definitely. But you will see some awesome prices in there. You
can
wow. See,
those tracer BBs are cheap.
Tracer BBs, more than 50% off. The cat eye bands. Make sure you got those cat eye bands so you don't get friendly fire in the back of the head.
Dude, I want to take some tracers to Irene.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
We've got magazines in there for way more than 50% off. You're going to see lots of awesome discounts in the shocker section. If you're not familiar with the shocker, what you do is you make your hand. I'm just kidding. It is actually on the front page of our website. It is a new section that's added right underneath the blowout clearance section. And yeah, just head on in there. Everything in there has a very limited time limit, and some of them also very, very limited in quantity. So, like Bob was mentioning, the MP7 with the barrel extension and the holster, I think it came with a holster, the Bantac MP7 holster, that we only made one of those available.
Oh, that's why it went out so quick.
Yeah, so once it's gone.
I really like that we have like the counters on these, because it lets you at least know like how quickly these deals are going to be gone if no one takes advantage of them, and it's also
right in your face.
It's kind of cool. I like.
We were the innovators of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag innovation.
Hashtag.
What?
Nothing. I'm just poking fun at somebody else.
Yeah. If you guys actually haven't seen our hashtag innovation video, is that the name of it? I believe it's.
It's in the video.
Yeah, it's on our website around there, but it's kind of a cool overview of our company and who we are and how we operate. Another really cool thing to take advantage of, which we've recently innovated, is our open box buy. What?
Let me see if I can find the.
Okay. Our open box buys. Basically, these are guns that have. I guess the packaging is a little scuffed up, but the gun is new. It's never been fired. We don't sell.
That's not necessarily true. The guns that are in the. Well, some of them have been fired. And obviously, we test all AEGs.
That's tested, though.
But a lot of these guns would be the stuff that we use for photos and videos and stuff like that.
Oh,
so it's not brand new, but it's also not used because it's never been sold.
Yeah.
And so it's really nothing major. Like sometimes when we put rails, accessories on, it might scuff up the rail just slightly. It's nothing huge. The gun is essentially brand new, but the discerning airsoft enthusiast might be like, oh, that's not a new gun. So we created an outlet for these type of things, and yeah, you can find those in the open box deals.
To be honest, though, like the open box deals, almost all of them sold out within a day or two. The ones that we actually just put up are the G&G gas blowbacks.
A lot of them are limited too.
Yeah, but I mean, they sold out fast.
Well, yeah.
And that's because it's a ridiculously good deal. Like I think the G&G Combat Machine blowbacks are going for $108.
Really?
I think so. Cheap. It's ridiculously cheap. So
really cheap.
Yeah. Oh, is Jet here?
Jet's probably here.
I think I saw him.
I told him to show up for the live show.
He best be here, so you can give away his phone number again.
Oh, yeah, that's 760-221-7983. I think that's his number.
That's screwed up.
If you missed it, you're going to have to watch this on YouTube later, because I'm not saying it again.
No.
Actually, I think while you're watching this, you can actually go backwards. That's one of the cool things about the live shows. If you miss something, you can go back.
I'll take your word on that.
Yeah, you should do that.
All right.
Definitely take your word.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we've got the, what did I mention? I mentioned the shockers already. I mentioned the
open box
deal.
Seriously, though, check that out, because hopefully we'll be putting up more of those, but it's just such a ridiculous deal.
Some of you might be wondering what's the difference between shockers and the wholesale deals and stuff like that. The blowout clearance section, you actually can't use. Actually, you can't use a discount coupon on the shockers either. Anyway, there's lots of sections on our website where you can save lots of money. The shockers being one of them. A lot of those are very time sensitive. In fact, all of the shockers are very time sensitive. Some of the awesome deals will only be up for 15 minutes. So you got to check the shockers frequently, and you got to have your money ready to go, because the deal that we mentioned with the MP7 and all the other cool stuff normally retails for about $350, but I think we're selling for like $250 something or $260 something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to miss out on those good deals. So we got the shocker, we took care of the open box. Bob, Rebel Training Camp.
Yes, we got the Rebel Training Camp coming up on October 19th, Saturday. This is going to be at SC Village. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Sam Campbell for signing up. I see he's in the comments. It's probably a little bit delayed, so he's not going to hear this for like 2 or 3 or 5 minutes. But yes, that game, the Rebel Training Camp, is coming up on October 19th. We basically are we're basically taking this event as an opportunity to, I guess, get younger or less experienced airsofters more educated as how the game goes. Yeah, that's a really important decision. Okay, let's focus on this. We're going to take this opportunity to educate younger airsofters, tips, tricks, and methods for playing airsoft. They'll make it easier so you can advance better, take cover more effectively, and also cover your teammates. It's all about team play, safety, respect, honor, and integrity. So it's going to be a really fun day. We're going to be able to play at both, I guess 2 different courses at SC Village. The wooded course that also has a mount facility, but is mostly a woodland area, and also SC Viper. So you're going to get a full-on mount experience along with a woodland and mount experience. We're also going to be having a tactical gearhead competition for the best Rebel loadout, which doesn't mean high speed, low drag. It basically means, a really innovative way of using a bunch of different crazy piece of gear to accomplish whatever you're trying to. If you want to
think of like the Somali rebels in Black Hawk Down, that might be good inspiration.
Maybe, but yeah, that would be good inspiration. But it's basically like, if you want to be a support gunner, how can you, jury rig stuff or use, ordinary stuff or even like disparate parts of gear to make your support rig work.
So the idea is not that you're spending the most amount of money and having the coolest stuff. It's how rebellious you are in your attire.
So it should be really fun, and we're definitely going to be helping. We're going to have more experienced players out there that day, including Jeff from Desert Fox, hopefully Charlie from Level Cap Gaming, along with Chris from...
hopefully Charlie. Don't put that in writing yet. But yeah, Jeff for sure will be there.
Yeah.
Bob for sure will be there. And actually, Team Therapists hit us up to see if they can come down, and they are wholeheartedly welcome.
Yes, they are. They're amazing players to have. I actually found out recently that I was telling people about mech suits for airsoft, and I was looking online, and they were the ones that created the mech suits that I had originally seen in video form.
Really?
Yeah. And the funniest part is Mongo, the giant guy, and halfway through the video, he like farts in the suit, and he's like, "This is the poorest suit." Oh god.
Oh yeah, those guys are characters. So you're not going to want to miss the Rebel Training Camp. It's called the Rebel Training Camp because we're encouraging new players with less than a year experience to come out and be amongst other players. So you can come up, expect to be mentored by more experienced players, and not get hosed down by that one a-hole with the crazy gun. Even though there may be some a-holes there with crazy guns, they're going to be helping you. They'll be on your team.
I would like to say, though, yeah, if you are a more experienced player, we're not saying, don't come to this. We're saying, like, get a ticket, but just show up expecting, or at least, like, trying to help mentor some of these younger players. They could use the assistance. And also, we're trying to build a community here, and it's always great to be friendly and more inviting to the younger players because it's a nice way to have a game and have a really good Saturday. And that's all we're going out for is fun. And to be honest, we're also going to have, like we said, the tactical gearhead competition along with the raffle at the end of the day.
Yes, the raffle is going to be insane. We actually have quite a few vendors that are going to be in attendance at the game, and I am going to encourage them to play as well.
Yeah.
But they are all bringing something. Even some of the vendors that support GITV that can't be at the game, they're still sending us some awesome stuff to raffle off. So expect to be there and have a good time. And now here's the cool thing about the Rebel Training Camp is that if you just went to SC Village for a normal Saturday, you'd be paying like $28, $27.
I think it's 28 or 29. I can't remember exactly.
The Rebel Training Camp is only $30, and you're going to get all of the additional perks of going during an event, such as the raffle, such as the Tactical Gearheads competition, such as the opportunity to learn from the more experienced players that are out there. So this is a great opportunity if maybe you're not the novice player yourself, but you have some friends or you know some people that want to get into Airsoft.
Sorry, Sam Campbell just said he was going to wear his Ewok costume, which I wholeheartedly approve of.
Very
awesome.
Good idea. Ewok. Keep in mind, we are going to be in Corona, California, maybe kind of warm, so those Ewok costumes,
I'll bring extra water.
As long as you can tough it out, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, bring it for the tactical gearheads at the very least.
Yes.
Um,
Dude, are Ewoks, are they considered rebels?
are you? I almost want to call you stupid. Did you not see Return of the Jedi?
No, I did, but are they, like, rebellious?
They fought against the Empire on the forest moon of Endor.
Yeah, but they didn't fight them until the rebels arrived, and so it's kind of like
Okay, well,
they were just trying to live under the radar. And then once Luke Skywalker came, they're like, "Oh man, these guys are tall. We can fight with them." And then they win.
well, the rebels on Hoth didn't fight the Imperials until they showed up.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I'm not as Star Wars knowledgeable as you.
No, you're not. Andrew Campbell, if you want to buy tickets for the Rebel Training Camp, you can head over to airsoftgr.com. Just type in Rebel Training Camp, or you can go through our new product section and you can find it.
YouTube allows to link.
I don't know, but anyway, go to airsoftgr.com, type in Rebel Training Camp, and if if you do buy the ticket, make sure to save the invoice you get in your email. Just print that out, bring it to the game, you'll be good to go.
Yeah, I guess I can't.
What's up, J Plaz? 1, 2, 3.
Sorry.
Wearing your birthday suit is probably not advised. So, but very
not much BB protection there.
no.
Yeah.
Don't want to get shot in the Liberty Bell.
No, we don't. Ask Bob how he knows.
Yeah, I've been shot in the Liberty Bell.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, but the Rebel Training Camp, it's a great deal. It's a great way to come out and meet the community, and it's a great way to learn, man. How do you learn airsoft these days?
Well,
man?
I mean, to be honest, like I'm just thinking about this, but like when I came down to LA for college, and I joined the airsoft team you were on, there were a lot of things I didn't know that when we trained all together that kind of really opened my eyes as far as CQB. Like I really didn't know that I had to check every corner like really hardcore until Gene was sitting in a corner. And he's kind of a small guy.
Yeah.
And get into those corners and it's just like
boom, dead.
It changed how I played for the better, because so many times since then I've gone around a corner and been like, oh man, I would have totally missed you, but now you're dead. So
yeah, indeed.
Like,
and obviously, like a lot of airsoft is kind of like common sense, but sometimes it takes somebody explaining it and for you to see it on battle forum to really sink in. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense when you talk about it. Hey, check all your corners, but when you're on the battlefield, it's easier said than done.
And that's why a lot of this game is also, it's not going to be a lot of us just sitting around telling you guys how this works. We're going to be we're going to have a small, I couldn't even call it a seminar, but a short talk about safety, respect, and integrity, and then what specific things we would like you to learn on the battlefield. But the majority of the teaching is going to occur in the middle of the airsoft game. We're going to be running around from player to player, explaining better ways to do things or different tactics with which you can use. So,
Oh, we should totally
play airsoft.
broadcast this on Google Plus. Why haven't I done that yet?
I don't know, Tim. That was poor decisions.
Where's my Skype name?
AA12, man. I'm definitely going to bring that up with any manufacturer I see that they should make an AA12. Ever since that video came out on YouTube, I've been itching for one. I love auto shotguns. Well, we've actually got a lot of guns to talk to you about today, as far as on the airsoft table, and one incredibly custom gun. But we're going to go over these non-custom guns first. Okay, this is a Lancer Tactical, I believe, is AK-74 SU.
Yeah, with a railed handguard.
And
that's
this is
new.
This is pretty impressive. I think we actually slid this on here ourselves.
Does that come with it?
What it does come with is the side rail mount, which is not this thing. You're going to take this off, and then there's a side rail that will allow you to attach this aftermarket rail setup. What's really nice is that a lot of, well, at least some other AKs do not come with this side rail mount, which is beneath this rail setup. Pre-installed. So with the fact that it's already installed in there, you can buy this aftermarket, slide it on. In addition to that, you're going to have all these rails up front. Now, this is a polymer gun. It is Lancer Tactical, obviously. So the externals are not going to be as good as the internals, but they're not
going to be as robust. But I will tell you that I still have a Tokyo Marui AK Beta. Yeah, and that's what I was actually going to say. The way that the receivers come together and the way that the Airsoft AK is constructed, a plastic-bodied AK is a lot more robust than a plastic-bodied M4.
Yeah.
My TMAK Beta still has a plastic body, works fantastic.
My TMAK is the same thing. It's solid as all hell.
Exactly, and that's just the way that the receivers come together. It's a lot more solid than a plastic M4 would be, so don't let that sway your decision. I mean, It's still not going to be as robust as a full metal AK, but you wouldn't expect it to because it only costs you like $100 or so.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got all your gear on and you fall directly on this thing, like, you know, there's a fair chance it's going to break. But that's,
well, I mean, you might break off the charging handle, but the gun's still going to operate because it has a full metal D-Boys gearbox inside.
correct. No,
So the important parts, the moving components, the parts that are taking most of the stress of an airsoft gun, are the inside of the gearbox, and this thing has a solid gearbox. So
what I like about this in particular is, you know, I mean, I feel like I've been saying this ad nauseum, but, you know, when we got into airsoft back in the day, you know, it costs so much to get into it. But I mean, if you've been playing for a while and you want to get your friends into it, you can get one of these as a loader gun. Or if you're not sure if you want to get into this and you want to stick with another sport, you can at least get this and, you know, test it out. And at the very minimum, you're going to be competitive on the field. And you're probably going to have a fun time. So, and that's what you really need to do.
I was actually explaining this on Reddit a little while ago because somebody made a comment about piece of crap guns and stuff like that, and I assumed that they were talking about Lancer Tactical, but hopefully I put it in perspective for them. It's like, you know what? For the amount of money this costs, back in the day, if you were to buy a gun for that price, you would not be able to be competitive because the gun would suck so bad, magazines would not be compatible, stuff just wouldn't work out. And so the fact that Lancer Tactical can provide a gun for the $100 price market that can shoot probably not as well, but it can keep up with a lot of the higher dollar guns on the market is kind of amazing.
There's poly, metal, and black.
Some of them are polymer, some of them are metal, but we have a whole bunch of AKs.
Black
Oh, they get the two-tone?
Can you do me a favor and share the link for this live show on Google Plus and everything like that out there? Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you. So, Mark just took the plastic AK-74 from me, and he also brought in a couple of other, I don't even know what kind of AKs to call this.
I thought this was the, I mean,
this is the AK, I think, and I don't know the whole story, but this is the AK that I think Chris Costa, like, designed or mocked up or something like that, and then it may have actually been put into production. So some of the parts that you're going to recognize are obviously the AK receiver. The front actually looks a little bit more like a, I don't know, I mean, it's just an AK with a railed gas tube and a rail section on here. Obviously, I have an M4 buffer tube on here with a crane stock, and we have, I think, what is this, like an M249 pistol?
I was going to say, it's similar to an M249 pistol grip. I do like how it actually has this really cool coating on the side of the crane stock.
Something that you may not recognize, though, is the fact that there is a charging handle on the left side of the gun.
In addition to the right side.
In addition to the right side, so as you can see, you know, we have the traditional charging handle in the traditional spot on the AK, but we also have one that's cut out of the receiver cover here that allows me to charge the gun with my left hand, which is actually a great feature for an AK. Instead of having to, you know, do this or anything like that. It's just right there. It makes the operation of the gun really easy to use. The rails obviously add some tactical feature to it. That's one thing that I've never really liked about AKs is the lack of customizability because of the lack of rail space. But this gun is definitely not lacking in that area.
Yeah.
And of course we have our cool magazine and magazine release. So
one thing to note though is the fact that the angled foregrip and the red dot sight do not come with the gun. You're putting that too far in there.
It's never been a problem before. Okay.
Walked in that. The sight does not come with this gun. We just kind of, the sight and the actual sight riser off here do not come with this gun.
Yeah.
Nor does the red dot or the angled foregrip. Yeah. We just put on here to, I mean, this is more or less how I would kit this out. I might put this on a riser as well just to work with my face mask. But yeah, this is definitely how I'd want this.
Yeah. I mean, you might need a riser for this little thing, but what's cool is that the stock is not on the same plane as your optics, so you might be able to get away with face mask and this gun as well. So see, yeah, but this is a full metal Lancer Tactical, so it just kind of goes to show that Lancer Tactical does not only make plastic guns. So we've got a solid gearbox in here, we've got a full metal exterior, lots of rail space, and Mark, what does this cost? Is it on your? Oh, that's the build list for the cool custom gun we're going to talk about.
I think it's around $200, but that is a guess. And
that's a good price because there's another gun on the market that looks exactly like this that's almost $500. Yeah, this is $150.
It's about $150.
This gun.
The metal ones.
This metal gun is about $150. Holy smokes!
Wow.
Give or take a few $100. Holy smokes, that is super cheap. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, I mean, one key thing though. Oh, okay. So the battery does go underneath the receiver cover, which is kind of a bummer in my mind because
You can only fit a stick type
batteries.
battery, yeah.
I was hoping that they may have wired it to the crane stock, but I guess that didn't happen. That's not to take away from the gun at all, though, because it still seems like it's very well made.
Yeah, you can still fit a fair amount of batteries in it.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, with the light poly batteries becoming more popular these days, it's really not hard to find a battery that'll fit in a battery compartment and provide good performance, because that is also something, we're aging ourselves here, but back in the day when light polys weren't the thing, like 9.6 batteries that gave you decent, that had a decent MAH and a decent dump, they were big and they were heavy, so you would be adding like 2 pounds to your gun. And on top of that, most of the time you had to mount them externally because they wouldn't fit in the space provided. So
I do remember that. I remember actually also the time, and maybe I'm incorrect about this, but I remember there was nickel cadmium out, and then the new deal.
Hydride, yeah.
Well, no, that was nickel metal hydride was the new deal when
Yeah.
I was getting into. It's like, oh, you got to get these nickel metal hydride batteries. So.
But the only cool thing about the nickel metal hydride batteries is that you didn't have to discharge them before recharging them, so they were just a little bit more durable. Performance-wise, they were about the same. About. You're doing that staring contest.
I am.
You realize that he's been staring for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a. I blinked. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Matthew Farrar. Actually, someone just asked, what is a really good support gun to get into for a very affordable cost or price? I was actually going over this with someone on customer service. A really affordable support weapon to get into the support bracket would actually be an RPK. We have several different RPKs on our websites that are actually very affordable, but also not that heavy.
Yes.
So, if you're not used to the support class, getting into a Solid M60, you're definitely going to get one hell of a workout. So, I also like RPKs personally. Yeah. It's also going to be like shoulder and legs and back strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my answer. The RPK would be a great way to get into support weapons.
The RPK is my favorite support airsoft gun.
Really?
I don't own one, but if I were to get a support gun, the RPK would be it.
Dude, do you remember when, I think it was Lion Claws 9, maybe, yeah, it was 9, I think.
Was
maybe.
it the one at Hesperia?
It was the one of the Air Force bases all flat. Oh, no, 9.
That was 10.
Okay, that was 10. When we hit that building with, it was you, me, David, and then Burgess,
Yeah,
he had an RPK, and he was doing the support roll. He
laying fire.
hitting all the windows. That was basically...
That's what you're supposed to do, man.
That was essentially a textbook airsoft-style assault on a building. And Michelle Wojcik and the rest of, was it
The Lost Sheep?
the Lost Sheep? Yeah, they got owned pretty bad, but that's also, they didn't know how to do urban combat.
They're not familiar. I mean, we gotta give them credit. I mean, they're a lot of fun to play with. They're just not familiar with urban combat. So
they're used to field play.
We were talking with the Lost Sheep after that incident, and they were telling us like, "Oh my God, we felt so weird being inside." We're like, "Oh my God, we gotta get outside." And I was just the opposite. I was like, "Oh my God, we're out in the open.
Let's get inside
indoors right now."
Well, we have more cover in there, and we can shoot out and move around.
And I'm more comfortable in close quarters environments, and it just depends on what you fancy. But
I won't make a joke about that. But
close quarters combat.
Yeah. Also, want to make a mention that the Lancer Tactical Speed Attack Plate Carrier is now available for pre-order. So that is out there. The Lancer Tactical.
The thing that Mark just jumped on?
Yes. I wish he connotated that goes with that Post-it.
Not. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So actually, let me see this. There you go. This is the same gun that we were going over earlier, except this is a polymer body, which, like I said, doesn't make the gun any less rigid.
No, but it makes it sure as heck a lot more affordable.
Yeah, a lot more affordable. I mean, I see there's a little bit more flex in the rail system here, but like I said, because of the way the AK receivers come together, you're really not missing out on a whole lot because this thing still feels really solid.
And I feel like, this style of AK has been out for just a little bit of time now, and I've seen it more often out there, and usually, there's a lot of M4s out there. I mean, that's kind of really well known in the airsoft community. But once this came out, or this style of AK, a little while ago, started to see more of them come out. So I'm kind of
smells like. This smells like
victory.
A pool noodle. Like when you just get it from the store before you jump in the pool.
I'm
like a noodle.
I'm just like saving up all these jokes in my head for later use.
Okay, go ahead.
It smells like a noodle. That's great.
I'm just saying.
That's just great.
You know how they say that your sense of smell is the one most closely tied to memory, so you can smell stuff and remember. It smells like a noodle. Anyway, go ahead, Bob.
I'm glad you just jumped in there. Basically, I think, you know, the fact that there are more AK options out there for cheaper prices or more affordable prices is going to make AKs at least a little bit more prevalent. Grave Robbers Airsoft, well played. Nerf hatches is a great thing to use, and excellent internet handle. Pretty awesome sounding. Internet handle.
I think that's his Airsoft team or something.
Yeah, I would assume so.
I hope he's not really robbing Graves.
That would be awkward.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Well, now that we got it, why don't we just at least show the Lance Tactical Speed Attack Plate Carrier?
That looks like a fast plate carrier and dangerous.
Yes.
Fast and dangerous.
It looks similar to, but is not, what's that called? A Banshee.
Cyclone.
Cyclone, yes. I will say, though, that I really do like the color of the multicam they have in here. Like,
it's darker than normal.
It's darker than normal, but, you know, I've seen other multicams that kind of look pinkish,
yeah.
And this isn't one of those, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they even got the stitching on here really good, too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Lancer Tactical is really killing it as far as making affordable,
Yeah.
good-looking airsoft stuff.
It's blowing my mind, though, too, because when they first came out, I was like, all right, you know, they're just, like, taking the, you know, the beginner's bracket of stuff, you know, just stuff to get people into the game.
It up, though.
But no, but, like, then they had, like, the DevGru style stuff, like, you know, all the stuff for helmets, like, special ops stuff, and now they're getting some really, they're also doing, like, internal parts. So they're, like, their brand.
Yeah, dude.
It's pretty awesome.
Totally.
So, I mean, this is really cool. This is going to be up for pre-order. So if you're looking for something similar to this, make sure to check out our website and get on this, because a lot of times what happens with pre-orders is the fact that, you know, people wait for them to actually get onto the website and be active, but all the pre-orders will be sold out.
The point of the pre-order.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make sure you get one, you got to pre-order it. So sometimes
I'll put the already talking about it.
No, okay, all right.
Dude, this has much plates on it too.
Yeah, I know.
Really solid.
Yeah. All right. Now, next up, this is the ICS SIG 552 MRS.
Bob has it written on his
I do, because I didn't even notice this cool grip.
Super ergonomic.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple features about this I like, which, first of all, you've got the monolithic upper rail. You've got the side folding stock, which is going to be great for getting into and out of vehicles and also storing it. You also have, you know, the cheek rest here. You have an ambidextrous fire selector and mag release. One feature that a lot of people overlook about the SIG guns is that you can switch the fire or the trigger guard to the left or right, and that was designed so that, you know, this could incorporate the use of larger style gloves, because, you know, the Swiss fight in cold weather.
It's cold in Switzerland sometimes.
It is a bit cold.
Yes.
So yeah, really cool gun. And actually, I just like the look of it, because it looks different than you'd expect a SIG to look. So it just kind of differentiates yourself from the battlefield, and it's honestly not even nearly as heavy as I thought it'd be. It's actually pretty light. Yeah, because I would think with this front metal rail setup, it would be a lot heavier, but it's not. So
I've always been a fan of the SIG, the 552 specifically. Again, it's just one of those guns I never really pulled the trigger on. Partially because it's so expensive, or at least it used to be really expensive. And we're talking about the golden days of Airsoft, but man, that gun was expensive.
Yeah,
it was like $300 for the gun, $250 for the metal body, another $200 for the front rail system.
Actually, speaking of that, what's really interesting is that Charlie from Level Cat Gaming kind of got me interested in SIGs again, because at Timber Spot 5, he brought out a SIG 552, I believe.
Yes, he did.
That had a front rail kit on it, and it changed.
And it comes out with the factory.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he added it on there.
I don't think so. I think G&G makes that way.
Damn. Well,
or maybe G&G makes the gun and the rail kit, but yeah.
Possibly, but whatever happened, like, it altered the look of the SIG for me. It kind of made me want to get one. So, and he had a really good time with it. I was a bit jealous that he had it, and it looked all around awesome. So, the fact that coming out with different front ends for this is pretty cool.
Jealous human being.
I'm green with envy.
But yeah, the SIG is definitely a cool platform, and this gun is no exception.
G36 KV, good or not?
I like the KV.
I do too.
I like the KV. I like any gun, actually, that gives you the option to extend and fold the stuff. Because there's a lot of different shooters out there with different shooting styles, with different arm lengths, different sizes, whatever. And the fact that you can do that and really customize the stock to give yourself, you know, the best possible chance of lining up your sights and taking a good shot, that is what I'm a fan of. That's why I really like the Scar. I don't like the Masada as much because the ergonomics of that stock, although they are functional, they're actually kind of hard to like tinker around with because they got buttons on both sides and shit like that. But the KB is definitely one of the stocks that's on my favorites list.
Interesting. Now, I believe, I'm not sure if this is exactly for sale on our website yet. If not, it should be on pre-order or whatnot. But
I think I
Yeah.
saw this at SHOT Show last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Shall we get to, let's show them that thing. That's basically the same thing that we were talking about earlier. So the AK, Chris Costa, I'm just going to call it Chris Costa AK that we were talking about earlier.
I thought it was Cinder Trax.
I don't think it's Costa.
I did.
Somebody in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a black version, so we showed you the tan version earlier. If you're into the tactical black look and you're not really into the desert tan thing, then this is, whoa, this is a cool red dot sight.
Yeah, I like the kill flash comes on.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm looking at right here. But yeah, it does come in black as well, so take a look at that. When you get some free time.
All right, so now the custom gun of the show. Now this was expressly built by Aaron Mora. He's in charge of our tech department, and I will say that he has done one hell of a job on this.
Backing up a little bit, we need to give a shout out to PolarStar, the guys at PolarStar. They
My
donated
apologies.
the fusion engine that is basically the core of this build, and then Aaron Moore was able to take that with like a couple of other parts and slap this thing together.
Actually, quite a few other parts, to be honest.
Why don't you go over that?
Josh and Aaron Moore worked on this, or at least like they worked on the build, what they wanted in it together. This was built for the marketing department, but also expressly for use at Operation Irene. Now, wow, that's clear scope.
Yeah.
Now, this is pretty awesome. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you know, I'm not the biggest fan of PolarStars. Why don't you hold that so I can at least look at the list? I'm not the biggest fan of PolarStars, but only because I like feedback. As far as effectiveness, I have never doubted how effective they can be in Airsoft. This is going to be no exception. But without further ado, let's see what is on the build list for this. All right. It's got a G&G GR25 body.
Yes.
It's got a Magpul PRS stock. It's got an Ergo pistol grip. It's got a Strike Industries righty trigger guard, a Mad Bull Daniel Defense MFR 12-inch Riz, a B&T Ruger & Thomet Rotex barrel extension,
Boom.
a Vism 3-9x42 center beam series scope. It's got a mil-dot reticle and an integrated red laser. We also have an AMP compact combat red dot sight with a quick detach riser mount. That basically is this sight over here mounted at a 45-degree canted angle. We also have a PolarStar engine with Scar H nozzle. We've got an Orga 6.23 500mm R-Hop barrel. Very well chosen, Josh and Aaron. A Mad Bull PRI 12.5-inch rifle length PEQ top rail. We've also got a B2 flip-up rear sight for M4 and M16, an Echo 1 flip-up front sight for M4 and M16, a Mad Bull Daniel Defense 16-inch lightweight profile outer barrel, excuse me, and the trigger pull is shortened, and the modified rail unit, the rail unit has been modified to fit on the upper. So quite a bit of work done in there. It's definitely going to make a very good rifle. I believe this is conforming to the sniper class. I can't remember exactly how Josh put it, but he definitely put a lot of research into making sure this is the gun he wanted to use at Op Irene. And honestly, I think this is going to be a really good way to use the PolarStar engine. I definitely think that has been one of the game changers for the airsoft industry in the recent few years.
Yeah.
And I actually remember the first time I'd ever seen PolarStar, I believe, was in Operation Irene a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I thought they had a booth there. I remember being like, huh, who's PolarStar? I never heard of them. They're really nice guys. So.
Indeed. At Operation Lion Claw's events, in order to be in the sniper class, you need to have a gun that was purpose-built as a sniper, and it needs to be restricted to semi-auto. So
Correct.
You can't have a gun that selects for
Oh,
auto.
this is restricted to semi-auto.
That's one of the reasons why we chose this gun. So Aaron Moore originally and I got together to put together an M110, and then Josh got a hold of him and had him add all this stuff onto it. But the key thing that I wanted to make sure that the gun had was a selector switch that could only fire in semi, which this gun has. So that's one of the reasons why we chose the G&G GR25 body to build this as a base. Pretty much the gun was built from the ground up. But this gun will conform to Lion Claw's rules in that it will be a semi-only sniper rifle that absolutely cannot shoot full auto.
I believe these are Magpul PTS rail covers, aren't they?
Yes, they are ladder rail covers.
Ladder rail covers,
Man,
yeah.
when you said the trigger pull was shortened, I was pulling on trigger and I thought that the safety was on, but actually, yeah, dude, the trigger pull is like an eighth of an inch off.
Yeah,
It's like
he's
really,
literally just, if he
really
barely
short.
touches the trigger, it's going to go off. So.
Yeah, so I mean, even though you're restricted to semi, I mean, you can seriously pull the trigger fast on this particular gun,
Yeah.
which is really, really cool. I have to say, I'm not the hugest fan of the stock, but I guess, whatever works.
I also really like one thing we didn't mention is we've got the Blue Force Gear Vickers Combat Application Sling.
Mm-hmm.
Very good sling. I actually have one myself. Oh wow, that is
short. Real short trigger pull.
That is probably the shortest trigger pull I've ever felt.
On an airsoft gun for sure.
That is ridiculous. Oh man. Anyway, I mean, this is probably one of the more ridiculously awesome guns we've had come into the marketing department, and we definitely have to thank our Airsoft GI techs in addition to PolarStar themselves, because I mean this is honestly, I almost feel like it's a piece of artwork. I mean, this is amazing.
It's a very pretty looking gun.
Yeah.
And it is going to perform very well for Josh at Irene and anywhere else we decide to use it.
I feel like I'm going to go out there with my gun, which is obviously not going to be as well tuned as this one. I'm going to be like, oh, Josh, you just killed dudes. He's like, oh, that's cool, man. I just got, like, that platoon over there.
It's going to be like you and Legolas and the Gimli guy. They're going to be arguing.
That's actually probably a pretty apt explanation. That one comes from me.
Yeah.
Or like
Gimli,
me,
then?
I'll be Gimli. He's going to kill, like, the elephant. It's like, that still just counts as one. Oh, man. Yeah, I will say, like, I've been jealous of a lot of stuff, especially just today. But this one takes the cake.
Just today.
Well, I am honestly, even though I'm not a big fan of PolarStars, I cannot wait to watch Josh wreck house with this thing, because I have no doubt he will. And if he doesn't, I'm going to make fun of him a lot, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to wreck house with this.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed in the lag of the show. Because it kind of takes away from the
being able to talk back and forth, yes.
Yeah. But the topic of today that I just kind of thought of randomly is real gun guys in Airsoft. And the reason why I thought of this is because I can recall a couple of occasions while I was playing a lot at Tax City, or what was once Airsoft Playground, where guys from law enforcement or the military or something where they shoot real guns came into Airsoft thinking that they were going to wreck house, but they just got home.
Yes.
And so Bob and I are just going to take a little bit of time and explore this concept of taking real gun training into Airsoft, some of the similarities, some of the differences, and why those guys consistently get rocked.
Now, it's not to say they consistently get rocked, but it's just that a lot of their expectations do not hold up for Airsoft. And one thing that, I'm just going to say right now, I don't have experience getting shot at. This is just from my experience working with law enforcement and military folks, and what they have had to say about Airsoft.
That's probably the biggest divider of why you succeed or fail in Airsoft, actually, is your movement. Yeah, your movement. There's there's certain expectations that come with Airsoft, like that, that do not come with real steel shooting. For example, hardcover. For real steel shooting, you're going to want to get behind it because that will protect you from bullets coming in for the most part. Whereas in Airsoft, sometimes soft cover will protect you. Like if there's enough trees or foliage or leaves in between you and your target, or like a curtain.
Or a curtain, yeah, that's going to stop the BBs. Whereas real bullets are going to go right through that, maybe have some deflection. Now, a few other things are airsofters, because they can respawn or because they're not worried about losing their life, they're more apt to go around those corners at point blank range and not care. Whereas people who are used to dealing with the situation on a day-to-day basis, life or death, they're going to deal with it.
They're not going to be as risky.
They're not
as many risks.
Exactly. You're not going to take a risk with your own life that you're just not going to take a risk flippantly.
Yeah, especially in Airsoft, no guts, no glory. Sometimes you just got to go out there and go get those kills.
Yeah, like I probably wouldn't be leading human wave charges if I could avoid it, in a real war. Anyway, that said, I will say that there, when Tim and I got into Airsoft, or at least when we started playing together, we had some folks in the Marines that actually, had trained us on, like, look, this is the actual breaching tactic for, using real weapons. Now, this doesn't work as well in Airsoft, so we're going to go over, here's the real one, and here's how we would do it in an Airsoft game.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of stuff that does translate well from, real tactical training to Airsoft. But there's also, like we were saying, is that the stuff that doesn't translate, and the stuff that kind of makes the biggest difference, is the fact that you don't die when you play Airsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you don't die. Shit, man, if you're playing that kind of hardcore Airsoft, kudos to you. But man, That really does kind of, I think, make the biggest difference. Is taking the risk to peek out to take a shot when real bullets are flying by you is probably not a good thing to do.
You just you'll take things differently because life or death is on the line.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are definitely many differences, and I think as folks who are used to the real steel side of it, get more acclimated to airsoft, will change their play style. But
that's the thing, yeah. Like they need to take what they've learned in the real world, play airsoft for a little bit, and understand the differences, and then like meld the two together.
Yeah, but a lot of the real steel weapon manipulation techniques really come in hand in airsoft. Like if you're transitioning to your pistol, I learned a lot from I don't mean this is sad to say, but it's just like I feel like Andrew Ty, when he used to work here, was just shoving these DVDs down my throat. Like the adaptive rifle training videos or adaptive shotgun. I learned a lot of how to transition from my gun or from my main rifle to my sidearm a lot quicker than I normally would.
It's still really baffles me how popular those videos got. Unbelievably popular. I couldn't understand it.
Well, a lot of people want to know how to, and I guess just you have a pretty.
They really did feel the niche of it. I mean, I can't think of any other instructional videos that were that popular on that scale. Oh man, they had to have been out there though. Don't you think?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I think what they did was that they put out probably one of the best produced and most explanatory videos. Also, they had people where you could look at it, you sort of heard their names, and they give you a little bit of background. You're like, all right, I immediately trust this guy.
Yeah.
And you drop your phone. I immediately trust this guy, so I'm going to listen to what he has to say. And then you see in the videos, like, all right, this stuff looks pretty effective. I'm going to try this.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Some of the stuff that I watched in the adaptive shotgun video, I hope I got the title right. Some of it seemed a little bit theatrical, like they're
Art of the Tactical Shot.
Art of the Tactical Shot. Thank you. I feel embarrassed.
Art of the Tactical Carbine. Art of the is it Tactical Handgun or is it Art of the Handgun?
I can't remember.
There's probably a tactical in there somewhere.
Yeah, I just saw the carbine and the shotgun one, but some of the stuff
Art of the Tactical Combat Knife.
No.
You seen that one?
Some of it looked theatrical, but I actually, after watching them, I actually tried out some of it on the ranch back in Kern County, and the way they load the shotgun was actually very effective. I was able to get back up and on target a lot faster than I would have normally.
What's the ranch? Is it a shooting range?
No, it's
the ranch,
like our family farm.
Where you have steer and stuff like that.
Well, we don't have steer, but there are animals there. Yeah, the mega dairy is just down the road.
With shotguns?
No. Clay pigeons.
Oh,
Pigeons.
God, okay. You just specified. You just said you went to the ranch and you were loading shotguns. Just
well, I mean, I could say the farm, but we don't farm as much on there anymore. So the ranch is just more like generic. So,
you still have a ranch?
Just a little bit of property to go out there now.
Yeah.
It's like kind of where
the ranch is.
Yeah, just Kern County.
Except in that area.
Also, 5-dog shooting range. I've taken you out to 5-dog shooting range in Kern County before. But honestly, it's just their techniques. Some of them, or the ones that I took for my own personal use, were very effective.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the real steel shooting kind coming over into helping airsoft. So
Jet would like us to make an announcement for him. Since he's our friend, we will do that.
All right, Jet. Today is the day. Is the closet door opening?
No, it's not that kind of announcement.
No. All right.
Jet has a KWA Chris Vector video that is releasing after the live show, and then another video later tonight with a special promo code in it. So I see a lot of
promo
you guys.
code for what?
It's a special one for Jet. But I see a lot of you guys chit-chatting with Jet here. I guess you guys are fans of the Desert Fox too, whatever. What?
Flavio Lamas? I mean, I almost feel like I want to answer that question.
At least once a day, right? You got to be regular.
I poop a lot. I poop a lot.
But yeah, Jet is going to have a couple of videos coming out. One immediately after the live show, one later tonight. Be sure to check that out with a special coupon code in it. You're not going to want to miss out on that.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, you can hit up Jet.
I'm assuming that he was editing these videos today because he didn't want to come hang out with us.
Probably. I mean, you can't really come hang out while we're at work anyway. But
No.
there is some business to discuss with regards to the rubber training camp. So Jet, you will have to make your way down the hill eventually.
Yes, but your timing on releasing the videos right after the light show is impeccable. So very well played. Very well played.
Indeed, indeed. But
Yes.
so we've got about 10 minutes left. We figure we'll just I don't know, chit chat. Anybody has any questions? other than the schedule of the battle movements, that would be much appreciated.
Yes. Somebody's asking what gun is behind Tim. I'm not sure if he's talking about the sniper rifle or the MP9.
There's quite a few guns behind me, I have to be more specific. A lot of them are M4s.
All right, let's see. This one,
I could have sworn we had an MP7 up here.
I can't remember. We did this for the Shugart and Gordon loadout for Black Hawk Down.
Dude, Jason painted that years ago, and we just never got around using it for anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we never did do that for anything. I believe that is your Scar. That is the gun we created for the Battlefield 3 loadout.
That's not my Scar.
This one is it?
That is the Scar that we used for the Tim vs. Bobby Beginnings video.
Ah, touche, sir.
Yes.
This is an MP5 or MP9 with a marketing department. I've got a Brugger and Thomas, or a licensed Brugger and Thomas barrel extension on there, along with an NC Star Vism sight with green dot and red laser. I actually have one myself. It's really awesome. And then we also have a KWA LM4 that's got a setup similar to the movie SWAT that Andrew Ty put that setup together just to keep by his desk. And we also have the gun from, I believe, our Zero Dark 30 loadout. We have the AAC-21. We also have G36, or am I getting that wrong?
That is the ICS G33.
Okay, G33. I remember that was a little
It's
off.
like a G36 -3.
And I believe that's a JG Bar 10 with barrel extension and a custom rail.
Yes, that is the Airsoft GI extended optic rail for the Bar 10.
Correct.
BSR 10.
That was designed by Brandon, wasn't it? Or manufactured by Brandon?
Well, Brandon is the one that did do the measuring and he made the original one from this mill. Yeah, and then we took that one and had that replicated by a machine shop.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Brandon was involved in the manufacturing process of that, which was awesome.
Hey, what's up, Jeremiah? Oh, you're JE the Airsofter. Nice. Nice. Yeah, he mentioned that in customer service.
Oh, did he?
He's like, yeah, Tim got to the bullfrog comment before you could. I was like, yeah, I know. I didn't see him coming.
You don't know that song?
No, of course I know the song. Jeremiah was a
What is
bull.
that song? I don't know the
It's
lyrics.
classic rock. I remember, I think I came out in the movie Forrest Gump. I mean, not came out, but it was in the movie. Yeah.
There's a lot of good songs in Forrest Gump.
Yes, there were.
Leonard Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it comes to
Cali boy, go on.
there's more.
All right. Is the Echo One Timberwolf
TBV
good?
in Alaska.
TBV went in Alaska.
Have you ever been to Alaska?
No, but I've wanted to go.
Alaska's awesome.
Yeah.
There's not very many people out there.
Some good Warhammer up there, though.
What?
Warhammer 40K?
There's good Warhammer in Alaska.
Well, yeah, because I hear that there's a lot of times where you're stuck indoors. There's
Where
not a lot
are
to
the
do.
best Warhammer players in the world?
Well, he's sitting right here. No, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I guess it'd be where the greatest concentration of Warhammer 40K players are.
Is there like Warhammer tournaments?
Yes, there are.
Do any of them actually have a hammer?
I do know that if you win, like they'll have the tournaments. They call it like Games Day or something, and they'll have tournaments. They'll also have painting competitions, and whoever wins the painting competitions in whatever category, they'll usually get a giant Slayer sword, which is, you know what a bastard sword is?
No.
It's basically as tall as you are. Yeah, and it looks so scary. And I believe they're like real.
What?
So it's like a tiny little guy being like, yeah. So
you win for painting?
yeah, I mean, well, the painting these Warhammer 40K things, or even the regular Warhammer
I'm sure
Fantasy,
it's time-consuming.
it can be time consuming, but you can spend as much time on it as you want. Like, people will paint the shine on the jewels, they'll paint the pupils in the eyes. I tried that for a while. It took forever. But yeah, there's, you can shade them.
Do you
There's,
have to paint?
you don't have to, but it's just when you get your whole army painted and on the battlefield, it looks vastly cooler than when they're just, glued together or primered. Like, Aaron Moore can tell you, Harrison can tell you, anyone who plays 40K can tell you that when you have a whole painted army, it's just so much cooler to play.
Do you have a whole painted army?
I do, I mean, with a few exceptions. Like, some of my new Tau units are not completely painted. A few of my Imperial Guard, like infantry, are not painted. I'm still painting my Valkyrie.
Did you finish the game that you had last Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Who won? You did?
This guy.
You know what I was doing last Thursday? Made me think of you in your game?
You're in your arcade?
No, but I was watching Starship Troopers on TV. And I was like, hey, this is what Bob is doing.
Yeah, no, the game before that, when Harrison was playing with his Tyranids. Yeah.
What?
Well, his Tyranids are very similar to the bugs in Starship Troopers. They're actually also very similar to Zerg. But yeah, they're all very scary.
I see.
And yeah, all of my infantry units are so small compared to those giant bugs that I literally have to shoot everything at one thing. Like, one platoon, a battle to have to fire everything at one of his monstrous creatures. So
Send everything.
kill it with fire. So yeah, I'm really happy I have air support now. So
Air support?
yeah, well, you can get air units in the game, and my Valkyrie is basically it's a mix between a Huey and a Harrier. Like it's you know,
It's a Huey. It's a Harrier.
it's a VTOL. It's, I guess you'd call it an Osprey almost, because it's a VTOL troop. It's actually like it's a VTOL Hind because it's kind of like half helicopter, half troop carrier. So pretty sweet. Yeah, I was actually one of the folks we met at Tim Bob's from the Midwest posted a bunch of photos of him playing 40K, and I was just looking at him, and some dude had actually put, I guess, fiber optic or some lights inside the cockpit in that Valkyrie that he painted. And that's someone who has some time, and also it looked pretty badass. So,
Dude Rayer, shorter trigger pull on an AEG. Unless you have an AEG like the Ares with a micro switch, I don't think mechanically you can actually make yourself a shorter trigger pull. Because what you would be doing is putting your trigger contacts closer together. And if they get too close, at a certain point, they're just going to arc, and then you're going to have you're going to burn your trigger contacts out. And so, because of the way normal AEGs work, where the trigger shuttle fits into the prongs on the switch, your trigger pull kind of has to be a certain distance, or at least it has to be greater than a certain distance, because you don't want your connection to arc, and it's going to spark your, it's going to burn your contacts out. So the PolarStar, because it is controlled by the FCU, the Fire Control Unit, it does not have your traditional AEG switch. That's how the shorter trigger pull is achieved and can be done successfully.
all right, really quick before we run out of time, Airsoft Nation 1. Oh, shoot, what was your question? This is going to kill me.
What are you doing? Breaking it.
I know I had this. Airsoft Nation 1, you're thinking of getting a spring shotgun. Any suggestions? I personally have just purchased a Bravo Tri-Burst shotgun. You know, we have a couple different models on our site, but the Bravo Tri-Burst, you know, it comes with a full stock, folding stock, no stock, you know, quite a variety of those. So I would suggest any of the Bravo Tri-Burst shotguns. They're very affordable, between $50 and $60. Yoni Ben Name, or forgive me if I didn't get your name correct, you're asking, what is the best G4? Really, there is no best G4. There's a bunch of different G4s that can suit different play styles. It's more or less like, you know, how you want to play, what kind of setup you want to have. Then you choose that G4. They're all really great. Also, we have FM G4s, full metal G4s. So if you want to get something with a metal body, that is also an option. There's one more question here, but I have lost it.
Stop spamming the best G4 question.
No, I think just all of our comments are coming in. Hey, Nathan Olney.
Hold on, watch this, watch this.
Wow, Tim. I did not see that at all. Tim just dropped something onto his shirt. Very well played. Okay.
Sometimes the delay is funny.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. Oh, man. Okay. We had one more question I wanted to answer. Oh, yes. Echo11 asked, hey, Tim/Bob, when is that AK you featured coming out? Do you have
Very soon.
Very soon? If it's not on pre-order on AirsoftGI.com, it will be up there.
Very soon.
Yeah, because I do believe we have quite a few of them.
I'm checking the products. They might be up right now. I don't know. No, it doesn't look like they are.
Nope.
The SIG is up now. We've got a couple open box stuff that Bob and I mentioned earlier, but those Lancer Tactical AKs will be available soon.
Jet's question. Where's Jet's question? Go down.
I'm not sure. What is Jet's question? Yes, he is.
Yes, I'm confirmed for Aparine.
I am not going, unfortunately, but that's okay. Somebody else will be going in my stead.
No, we're gonna miss you, Tim.
I've already been to Alpine, you know.
I know. I would have liked to go with you again.
I would have liked to have gone because I didn't go last year because I was waiting to go back to Zussman, but you know, it's not in the cards right now.
We'll miss you, buddy.
Indeed. But it is 5:30. Thank you for joining us for our live show. You can catch us every Tuesday at 4:30 Pacific time at our YouTube channel. We'll catch you guys next week. Adios, amigos.
Bye bye. Bye bye now. Bye bye.